Hello, I'm your host, the Unlucky Moviegoer, and our story today is about cowboys, giant subterranean creatures, and well, we'll leave it at that so you can enjoy the mystery for yourself. We open to this guy, Valentine, relieving himself. He then wakes up his sleeping partner, Earl. They have a smoke, then get to work. Turns out they're handymen who do odd jobs. The two men begin driving down a road planning for their next job when they notice another truck on the side of the road. Earl says it belongs to a grad student. Upon finding out this new grad student is a girl, Valentine flies off the road and recklessly drives towards the other truck, praying she has long blonde hair and a large bosom. It's safe to say she's not his type. Meet Rhonda. She's a seismology student. She studies earthquakes. She wonders if anyone is doing any drilling nearby because her earthquake readings are off the chart. The men tell her no one has been drilling around these parts, but they'll keep an eye out and bounce. She then wonders if wearing sunscreen was the right choice today. Earl scolds Valentine about his choice on women, telling him to be more open-minded. The two men arrive back to town. They have a beer and chop it up with the town locals. This guy Melvin's got an attitude. This guy Bert's a conspiracy theorist. His wife Heather and the shop owner Mr. Chang seem nice. Moving on. An earthquake is happening. Rhonda is installing a seismology graph when her readings start going off the charts. Something is then seen moving towards her in the ground. She hops in her car just in time and is none the wiser. Back to Valentine and Earl, who are doing some odd jobs with some shenanigans ensuing here and there. The two men tire of these odd jobs and decide to leave town. This lady offers them a job to stay, but no dice. The duo leaves. Earl and Valentine are driving down the road when they see a man they know on an electric tower thing. Valentine climbs up to save him. Turns out he's pretty dead. The men bring him to the town doctor, and it also turns out he died of dehydration. His name's Edgar, by the way. R.I.P. This does not make sense to the duo because it poses a question: why and how could someone sit on a tower for 3 to 4 days and die of thirst? We cut to this guy doing farmer things. His animals are turning up and we see why momentarily. The farmer guy gets snacked on by something unseen. Back to the duo, leaving town again when they see another strange sight. They arrive at the snacked on farmer guy's place and see all his livestock has been eaten. They eventually find the farmer as well, and he's not looking so good. The duo drive back to town and on their way warn these two fellers about what they believe is a killer on the loose. The two fellers pay them no mind and continue drilling. One of the guys drills into something that lets out a scream. I don't think that was concrete. This thing takes the drill and starts to spaz out underground. One of the drill guys gets taken along for a ride. The other guy chases after him and well, unlucky. Earl and Valentine go back to town and try calling the police, but the phone seems to be broken. The town residents tell them to drive to the next town over to get the police. They head over to do just that. They're driving down the only road that leads out of town to a roadblock made by the falling rocks from earlier. They see some remains of one of the drillers. The men try to dip but get stuck on something. They eventually get free and head back to town. They soon see what they were stuck on, a creature of some sort. The store owner pays them $15 for it. Talk about a come up. The townspeople surmise that this is the creature that ate the farmer guy and his sheep, and that there must be more. We cut to this couple chatting and stargazing. Their generator suddenly disappears, then reappears. The lady wants to leave, but the man doesn't think it's a big deal. He was wrong. Very, very wrong. Worm-like creatures attack the woman and she runs into her car. But these creatures are quite persistent and decide to swallow the car whole, instead of dealing with her shenanigans. The townspeople try to figure out what to do. They eventually decide to send 2 people on horsemen to the next town to get the police and nominate our handyman duo. The two get ready to set off. Heather and Bert, who are toting some massive firearms, decide to find the college girl Rhonda from earlier. Melvin decides to prank the gang and almost gets popped. He takes an L. The duo finds the remains of the married couple from earlier, and witnessing the car sucked into the ground, they realize the situation is more dire than they thought. Earl and Valentine are riding when they get attacked. One of their horses gets eaten. A giant creature appears out of the ground, brandishing smaller creatures as its tongue. The duo runs. They jump across a concrete dam thing and the creature crashes into a wall. The duo celebrates since the creature is dead. Rhonda appears out of nowhere and sees the creature in the wall. The gang opens up the wall to get a better look at it. They marvel at its etymology, noting it's not like any creature ever seen before. Rhonda starts doing some science stuff and realizes that there are 3 more in the area. The crew is walking to Rhonda's car when a new creature appears and maroons them on a rock. The gang is stranded for a while and finds out quickly that their creature friend is waiting out for them. Rhonda is trying to tell the men her plan, but gets completely ignored. This movie is societally accurate. She takes matters into her own hands and starts to leave. She pole vaults to the next rock to the men's amazement. The men struggle at first but eventually get the hang of it. The gang makes it to the car and gets beset upon by a creature, but they eventually make it out and back to town. They're trying to figure out what to do next and figure out Bert and Heather, the gun-toting couple that went to find Rhonda earlier, have not made it back to town. Valentine notes that the creatures are headed right towards them. Rhonda tells the town people that they should head up the mountain since the creatures can't travel through rock. Melvin plays another prank. This lady goes to find her daughter, Mindy. Melvin lets out a scream. The townspeople think he's playing a prank, but then quickly find out he's not. The creature attacks. Everyone runs in a panic, then decide to freeze in place as the creatures only sense vibrations. Mindy didn't get the memo. Valentine saves her. Earl notes to Rhonda another creature is coming after them. He cleverly runs back to the store, while Rhonda not so cleverly runs into a field. Rhonda gets trapped on barbed wire. Melvin sees her trapped and folds. Valentine, however, comes to the rescue. He tells Rhonda to take off her pants. She does. The gang makes it back to the store. Valentine is patching Rhonda up, and this guy kindly gives her some new pants. The vending machine suddenly starts to vibrate, and a creature comes in and eats Mr. Chang. Oh snap. Everyone heads towards the roof, except Rhonda. But she's safe. Melvin tries to figure out what's going on. He finds out, but makes it onto his roof safely. We cut to Bert and Heather driving around. They see the townspeople on their roofs. A creature starts heading towards them as they're making vibrations. They radio Val and Earl to find out what's going on. Val tells Bert to get on his roof, but Bert believes in nothing but guns, Jesus, and the good old USA. Woo! A creature crashes through Bert's wall. Did I mention Bert believes in guns? Woo! They let the blickies go. Bert almost gets snacked on, but Heather saves him. The creature doesn't like that very much. The two really start to let the choppers sing. They let out an entire arsenal on the creature. They eventually defeat the creature. God bless America. The townspeople get hype. Another creature pops by, and Bert notes that they can't penetrate through the dirt to get to said creature. While that's going on, a separate, and if you're keeping count, final creature is up to some shenanigans on Val and Earl's roof. It starts to turn things up. The creature proves more clever than everyone previously thought and starts to loosen the soil around the houses. This guy gets thrown off his roof. This guy gets eaten. Melvin starts to freak out. The creature also decides to eat Bert and Heather's truck for good measure. The rest of the townsfolk devise a plan. I'll break it down for you. They start this tractor thing to distract the creature. They take this bulldozer thing, attach it to a giant trailer consisting of the townsfolk, and everyone rides on out of there. Miguel starts the tractor. Val makes a beeline for the bulldozer. The tractor flips over and the creature starts heading towards him. Rhonda tells him to freeze as he's not going to make it. He listens. The townspeople start to make noise as the creature is about to get Val. Rhonda succeeds in her distraction, but perhaps too well. Val makes it to the bulldozer and heads back to town. Rhonda hops on. It seems the creature can't take down the bulldozer. It also seems Bert and Heather are making bombs of some kind. The townspeople are heading to the mountain, but it seems the creatures are up to something. The gang falls into a sinkhole. It seems these creatures are really smart and have dug a trap. The creatures attack the caravan, and the gang lets loose on it to no avail. As the creatures are getting wiser by the second and are about to devour the sinking bulldozer, the townspeople decide to run for some rocks. Rhonda says to throw a bomb to scare the creatures so the townsfolk can run. Melvin says they'll never make it and starts to fold again. Melvin gets a blicky. Melvin decides it's probably worth a try. A bomb is flung. The creatures get scared. The townspeople run for the rock. Melvin tries to fire at a creature, but it turns out there's no bullets in his gun.
Got him!
Everyone makes it onto the rock. Tensions start to rise, and the townspeople begin to fight. They cool off and devise another plan. They decide to throw a bomb out like they're fishing. A creature takes the bait as the bomb is moving along the ground. Kaboom! One more to go. They try to do the same thing to the last creature, but it outplays them. The group gets scattered. A creature is about to eat Earl, Val, and Rhonda when the townsfolk come to their rescue by making a lot of noise. The creature goes back underground, but Val notes it's trying to trick them, and that they should not move. Everyone tells Val to use a bomb, but he says he has a plan and takes off. The trio runs to the edge of a cliff, and Val outplays it. Everyone gets hype. Rhonda goes over to the duo to say bye. Earl bounces to give the two some time alone. Val gets extremely nervous and doesn't know what to say to her. He eventually works up the courage to kiss her. The end. If you're from America, get comfortable with a beer and a pistol, and watch some more videos.